Autobiography title: The Journey of a Life. Chapter 1: My Early Days. I was born in a small town where everyone knew each other. My family was not very rich, but we were happy. My father worked as a carpenter, making furniture for people in our town. My mother stayed at home and took care of me and my two younger sisters. We lived in a small house with a big garden where we grew vegetables and fruits. As a child, I loved to play outside with my friends. We would run through the fields, climb trees, and swim in the river. Every morning, I would walk to school with my best friend, Sarah. We would talk about our dreams and what we wanted to be when we grew up. I always said I wanted to be a teacher because I loved helping others learn new things. My school was small, with only a few classrooms. The teachers were kind and patient. They taught us how to read, write, and do simple math. I was good at reading and loved spending time in the library. I would borrow books and read them under a big tree in our garden. My favorite book was about a boy who traveled the world and had many adventures. Chapter 2: Growing Up. As I grew older, life became a little more difficult. My father had to work harder to support our family, and my mother started helping him by selling some of the vegetables and fruits from our garden. I also began to help at home by taking care of my sisters and helping my mother with the housework. When I was in high school, I became interested in science. My science teacher, Mr. Adams, was very inspiring. He made the subject fun and exciting. I remember doing experiments in the lab and feeling amazed at how the world worked. I decided that I wanted to study science in college and become a scientist. However, going to college was not easy. My family did not have enough money to send me to college. I knew I had to find a way to make my dream come true. I started studying very hard and applied for scholarships. I also took up a part-time job at a local store to save money. Chapter 3: College Life. After a lot of hard work, I was accepted into a good college with a scholarship. It was the happiest day of my life. College was a new world for me. The campus was big, and there were so many students from different places. I felt a little scared at first, but I soon made new friends. I chose to study biology because I was fascinated by how living things work. My professors were knowledgeable and always encouraged me to ask questions. I spent long hours in the library and the lab, trying to learn as much as I could. College was not just about studying. I also joined a few clubs, like the science club and the debate team. I loved debating because it helped me improve my speaking skills and made me more confident. I also participated in community service projects where we helped clean up the neighborhood and tutored younger students. Chapter 4: Facing Challenges. Life in college was not always easy. There were times when I felt overwhelmed by the amount of work I had to do. I missed my family in my hometown. There were days when I thought about giving up and going back home, but I knew that I had come too far to give up. I reminded myself of why I was there and what I wanted to achieve. I started organizing my time better, making sure I balanced my studies, work, and social life. I also learned to ask for help when I needed it. My friends, professors, and family supported me, and I was able to get through the tough times. One of the biggest challenges I faced was during my final year. I had to write a research paper, which was a requirement to graduate. It was a huge task, and I felt very stressed. I spent countless nights working on it, reading, writing, and revising. But when I finally finished it and handed it in, I felt a great sense of accomplishment. Chapter 5: Starting my career. After graduating from college, I started looking for a job. I wanted to work in a research lab, but finding a job was not easy. I sent out many applications and went to several interviews. There were times when I felt discouraged, but I kept trying. Finally, I got a job at a research lab in a big city. It was a dream come true. I moved to the city and started my new life. The work was challenging, but I loved it. I was part of a team that was working on finding new ways to treat diseases. Every day, I learned something new, and I felt that I was making a difference in the world. Living in the city was also a new experience for me. It was busy and noisy, but it was also exciting. I made new friends and explored the city in my free time. I visited museums, parks, and restaurants, and I even took up a new hobby, photography. Chapter 6: Finding Love and Starting a Family. While working in the city, I met someone special. His name was John, and he worked in the same building as me. We met by chance at a coffee shop, and soon we became good friends. We would often have lunch together and talk about our lives and dreams. After a few months, we started dating, and eventually we fell in love. John was kind, supportive, and always made me laugh. We shared many interests, like hiking, reading, and traveling. After a couple of years, we decided to get married. Our wedding was a simple and beautiful ceremony, attended by our families and close friends. After getting married, we moved into a cozy apartment in the city. Life was good, and soon we started thinking about starting a family. A year after our wedding, we were blessed with a baby boy. We named him Daniel. Becoming a parent was one of the most amazing and challenging experiences of my life. Taking care of a baby required a lot of patience and love, but it was all worth it. Watching Daniel grow and learn new things brought so much joy to our lives. Chapter 7: Balancing Work and Family. After Daniel was born, life became busier. I continued working at the research lab, but now I had to balance my career and my responsibilities as a mother. It was not easy, but with John's help and support, we made it work. I learned the importance of time management and setting priorities. I made sure to spend quality time with Daniel, helping him with his homework, playing with him, and teaching him about the world. I also continued working on important research projects at the lab. There were times when I felt tired and overwhelmed, but I never gave up. I loved my family and my work, and I wanted to do my best in both areas. I also made sure to take care of myself by eating well, exercising, and taking breaks when I needed them. As Daniel grew older, I encouraged him to follow his interests and dreams. I wanted him to have the same opportunities that I had, and I made sure to support him in every way I could. He was a curious and smart child, always asking questions and wanting to learn new things. Chapter 8: Achieving Success. Over the years, I continued working hard and making progress in my career. I was promoted to a senior researcher, and I led a team of scientists in several important projects. We made some significant discoveries that helped improve the treatment of certain diseases. It was a proud moment for me when our research was published in a well-known scientific journal. Outside of work, I continued to be involved in my community. I volunteered at a local school, helping children with their studies and encouraging them to pursue science. I also gave talks at community events, sharing my experiences and inspiring others to follow their dreams. At home, John and I were proud of the family we had built. Daniel was doing well in school, and he was interested in technology and computers. We supported him in pursuing his interests, and we were excited to see where his journey would take him. Chapter 9: Giving Back. As I looked back on my life, I felt grateful for everything I had achieved. I wanted to give back to the community that had supported me along the way. I started a scholarship fund for students from my hometown who wanted to go to college but couldn't afford it. I also became a mentor to young scientists, helping them navigate their careers and achieve their goals. I realized that my journey was not just about my own success, but about helping others succeed as well. I wanted to make a difference in the lives of others, just as others had made a difference in mine. I continued to work hard, but now my focus was on making the world a better place for the next generation. Chapter 10. Reflecting on Life. As I grew older, I started to slow down and reflect on my life. I had been through many challenges and successes, and I had learned many important lessons. I learned the value of hard work, perseverance, and never giving up on your dreams. I also learned the importance of family, friends, and community. I continued to enjoy the simple pleasures of life, like spending time with my family, reading, and taking walks in the park. I also continued to learn new things and explore new interests. Life was a journey, and I was grateful for every moment of it. Chapter 11. A new chapter begins. Now, as I enter a new chapter of my life, I look forward to what the future holds. I know that there will be new challenges and new opportunities, and I am ready to face them with the same determination and passion that I have always had. I hope that my story will inspire others to follow their dreams and never give up, no matter